live very shortly, and here we are. And a very good evening, everybody, and a very warm welcome to our Lyceum service coming to you from the Paul Spiritualist Church on the south coast of the UK. We have two wonderful guests for you tonight. I'll introduce the one who is in the room currently, Mr. Marcel Jansen.
Thank you. Good evening, everyone. Marcel Jansen.
Jansen. Thank you, Marcel. And Dr. Robert Behrendt, who was here before we went live and seems to have disappeared. So very... Oh, hello. It's coming in somewhere else. Let's try this one. Hello, Dr. Robert.
Hello.
Brilliant.
Do you hear me?
We can hear you now and see you.
Okay, I changed to my mobile, so
okay.
I hope just have to close this one. Okay.
Yeah. Brilliant. And we are live now, Robert. So no swearing, please.
Okay.
Wonderful. And we have with us the lovely Dr. Robert Behrendt, also from Germany, speaking with us tonight. So, Dr. Robert, how nice to see you again.
Thank you. Really nice to see you. I had some technical issues, but now I've solved the problem. I hope so.
Brilliant. Brilliant. That's what we like. We like a can-do attitude. That's always very good. Something that quite a few people who watch these, whether you're live with us tonight or watching on catch up at a later date, is just a little bit of the background. So, Marcel, if I could start with you. I'm glad I picked you, Marcel.
Yeah, thank you, Lawrence. And let me give you just a short summary of me, of Marcel. So I'm Marcel, 45 years old, and I live in Germany, North Rhine-Westphalia, in the city of Bottrop. And that's just 60 miles north from Cologne. So I think anyone will know Cologne, and just 40 miles west of the border of the Netherlands. So we would call it deep in the west of Germany. And so I'm a graduated engineer for information technology, and I'm working as a digital sales manager in the energy sector. And yeah, you hear it. So I grew up with science and logic and so on, and not really spiritual, let me say it so.
Okay. And then what led you into spiritualism? Was it a gradual unfoldment or something a little bit more pronounced?
Well, now let me tell you. So it was recently, because of my wife. It was my mother-in-law. Her mother died, and yeah, my wife. Yeah, it was really hard for her, and she was looking for answers, and yeah, she really felt that there's more, but she didn't knew much about it, and she didn't knew where this path would lead her, neither me. So she found out and read about the Arthur Findlay College in the internet, and whatever the reason was, she was drawn to it, and she wanted to travel there, but she didn't want to travel on her own, don't want to make it alone. And so she asked me to accompany her, and I said, okay, if you really want to go there, because I had no idea of it and was a little bit, I don't know if I want to go there. Yeah, really thought about, but if you really wish to, so you will have to do the booking. Normally I'm doing that job. I'm booking the vacations and so on. I'm caring for it. I'm go to the telephone or internet and check for everything. And I said, okay, if you really want to go there, I will be going with you, but you have to book it. And so challenge accepted. She did it. She booked it, and I went with her. But I only stayed as for a retreat there. So she booked in for had a week wonderful course of mediumship, and I just stayed there, had the meals there, slept there, and over the day I walked through the gardens, through the grounds, around the area, into the valley, into the little town of Mount Fitchett, and it was in February 2023, and we had a week of sunshine. It was, well, I think it's not so often, very rare in the UK, but so it was, and I enjoyed it really. I calmed down in that week, and I got to know many lovely people there, and so it was a good feeling to be there, and so my wife enjoyed this week, and I made a surprise for her to her birthday in August then, and presented her the week in 2024. And that time I did the booking, and I was thinking over, well, I will go walking a week, but I can't book it online to just be there for a retreat. So I'll sign in for a course, and I will go there the first day. And from the second day on, I will go walking and do my thing there. But it came a different way. So I went on Sunday for my first course, and I didn't miss any of it. So I was in the healing course by Minister Jackie Wright, and I enjoyed the week. So it's I really felt drawn to get to know more about it, and that was my way into spiritualism, the short version.
Brilliant. I find this intriguing and fascinating because you didn't have that thought to go to the college to learn about spiritualism. Yet it was there was something going on. So you ended up at the college. Just doing a quick recap for Dr. Bob's benefit. Marcel accompanied his girlfriend to the college and didn't want to do anything there. But on the second time they went, he found himself on a healing course. Does that sound familiar, Dr. Roberts?
Yeah.
And Dr. Bob's story is sort of like slightly opposite, if I'm correct. But Robert, you were the first to investigate the potential and the excellence within spiritual healing. And then your wife became more and more engrossed. Have I got that right?
Yes, that's right.
Yeah.
That's right. For the people who don't know me, I'm an orthopedic surgeon, and I had a surgery, and I was at the beginning really skeptic about all the spiritism, and then I found a course that was called experimental mediumship, and this was an eye-opener for me, because that was a week at the Arthur Findlay College where we tried out all things from healing to experimental things like photography, sitting in a cabinet, working with tables, and all that. And after this week, I was really convinced about this. And after a time, due to my profession, I found myself more in the healing. So I was interested to do the healers training with the SNU, and I become an SNU healing medium. So that was a time about 2 years, and I had an exam in Cardiff with Andrei Georgievich. This was my teacher, and that's what I do. And I have held this discussion about physical mediumship. That is the other thing what's really interesting for me, because you can see and experience things without being a medium, and this is very interesting for the people. So Yeah. So yeah,
I love that view.
yeah.
I love
It's,
that view, that
mhm.
wording there about, you can experience something without being a medium.
Yeah, yeah,
That's actually a very fascinating perspective there.
mm.
I
It is.
don't want to upset either of you. However, you do realize, I know you both have an understanding of the history of the movement, and you
Yeah,
do realize that a lot of the pioneers were people who were dragged along by their partners, or they didn't really believe in it, so they thought they might go in and disprove it. So
yeah,
be warned.
yeah,
And it's beautiful that you both have that deep interest as well in the healing side,
yeah.
because within our
Mhm.
movement, everything we do, in my estimation, is about healing. Our evidential
Mhm.
mediumship has that ability to deliver a healing message to both sides, of the veil.
Mhm.
And yet, it's one of the areas of spiritualism it's like an add-on, isn't it? Oh, we've got an evidential medium tonight, and they'll be doing this, doing that. Oh, yeah, and there might be a healer in
Mhm.
attendance.
Yeah.
Dr.
Mhm.
Robert, you've organised healing weekends, correct, in Germany, or been
Yes,
part of?
correct. Yeah. Before the Corona time, I organized seminars with Andrei Georgievich here in my hometown. But due to the time, uh, the Corona time, all this stopped,
Hmm.
and so I had to find a new way. And um, when I wanted to do another course, the course leader said to me, "Well, Robert, you are ready to go on your own path, and that is very important for someone who starts new. There's a time where you have to do something on your own. You can't do courses and courses, and you are kind of addicted to courses. But there's a time you have to start your own business, so to
Yeah.
say. And there so I meanwhile some things happened. I had some health issues in 23, and I had a stroke and was half side paralyzed, and I needed 1 year to recover from it. And I'm in a good state now, and thanks to to the powers of God and from the spirit world, and for it was very helpful to do the self-healing techniques on my own, and I think that was very important for me to know all these things to recover. And after that, I started a little spiritual center, and now I do home circles with my wife, where we teach mediumship and healing and physical mediumship, and that I mean that I wanted to say. Yeah, there's a time you have to start. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. So
Yeah.
yeah, and you don't have to think there is nobody around you. When we started, and when we started, more and more people opened and told us, well, we are very interested in these things, but we told no one about it. So there are more people around you that are interested to start something. And now we have around 20 people for our courses. And tomorrow we have a healing course. And 2 or 3 weeks ago, we had an experimental mediumship course. There we felt the power, what it is to sit in a cabinet, and so on. So yeah, it's a lot of fun, and you just have to start. So I want to encourage you, start, and just don't do courses to your life, and there's a time you have to start and to give it to the other people, to give something back to them. So yeah,
that is such a wise thing to say. We have here from Paul a lot of courses coming up throughout the year and each year, and I have actually had this with people who have tried to sign up for a course, and I've just said, you've done 3 courses this year. That really, that is enough. Because to me, when you go on a course, be it a day workshop, 3 days, 5 days, whatever, that's an introduction, and some people sometimes go, oh, done that, right, what's next? And it's not. This is an introduction. This is to give you things to take away and work with. So, Marcel, have you experienced similar to Dr. Robert here about surprise at the amount of people around you that have an interest in what you are progressing and following now?
Yes, not in such a big number as Robert mentioned it, but we've been at the college from the 8th February for the German week this year as well. And we met people from the neighbor town. It's just 10 kilometers away. And we didn't knew each other before. And the week before also we met people in presence at a seminar in the other direction, and she's also not far away. So yes, there are people around you. If you open up your eyes, you will find them. And so it's good to stay or to get in connection with like-minded people. And I want to give credits to Julia Kürten here because she set up a WhatsApp community, and I checked in at the college when we met there. And I think in the meantime, there are over 600 people, most from Germany, but also from Austria, Swiss, and also UK, whatever. And there are 10 or 12 groups in it, and German-speaking, English-speaking regions. So then you can meet each other in person, or maybe it's just for short online meetings to have some practice with each other. So that's a good thing to get in contact with people also next to you.
Excellent. I wasn't aware of that, but how do you have that? Round of applause out to that group being created, because from when COVID happened, 2020, and we went online, it was a very big eye-opener to me personally that we had so many people of great interest in spiritualism in Europe, but the setup is very different. The UK, it's sort of like you walk down any road and somewhere you're going to find a spiritualist church or a centre. But it was, quite interesting to find out that wasn't the case in Europe. But since this online presence, the interest that's been generated is quite phenomenal. And I've said this before, and I keep saying this, to me, with our European colleagues now, you've got this wonderful new frontier to be part of. You're creating this, and you have a wonderful opportunity. You can look to the UK at spiritualism in the UK, and you can look to see what we do well, and also you can look to see, where we could improve, because you're bringing this newness in. The wonders of technology. I love that group that you brought out, Marcel. I think that's absolutely brilliant. And that is actually very uplifting, because I've been looking at the number now of online demonstrations that are happening, and people advertising. It seems almost daily people are advertising, saying, "Oh, we're opening up. What's that? We're doing this. We're doing that." And sometimes, I'm not comfortable in that environment, because it's a little bit like not being too nasty, it's a bit like a sideshow. People just, next medium. Oh, thank you, Marcel. That was a wonderful evening. Thank you so much. Next week, we've got a really good medium. We've got Dr. Bob, and it becomes this endless parade of medium, but without the depth, without the context, without the understanding there. So I think that is great. That's so nice to hear, Marcel. Well done.
I can really confirm what you said, and I would just wanted to add, I like also attending divine services, but it's not only for the demonstration of mediumship. It's also, I like the ones which yours are. So with having philosophy at the beginning, so talking about a topic, if it is spiritual or just a normal topic, and giving their sides on it, and you can listen to them and you can get so much out of it. So that's a really good thing, and you can just learn, sit down, relax, and learn by listening. And as I mentioned also before, when I've at the college 2023 first time, I was on retreat there only, but the divine services are open events, so I could join them. And when I first saw that, I said, okay, well, if a divine service in Germany would be that way, I would go every week there. But in person, no, there is none here. So, and that's the stone got into rolling. And what can we do? So we found online divine services at first. It were all, or what we found were all in the English language, but that's also second good point. So improving English skills. So it also helps in that way. And after looking more and more and having this lovely group from Julia, we found out, well, there are German spiritual divine services. And it's, even if it's just once or twice a month, there are chances to visit them online. But yes, there are such things. And before that, I didn't knew about.
Brilliant. A few comments coming in. Lovely Jan. She's just confirming this about the Europe thing. There's no spiritualist churches in France, so it's great for me to find you online. Thank you, Jan. And a message here for the lovely Dr. Bob. And we are so thankful for the courses with Dr. Robert and his wife, from Agnes.
Thank you.
You've got fancy, Robert. Great.
How much you're paying?
Yeah, not good. But you made a very important point. Let me first say, the services, the spiritual services are so different from the services we know. When you see, or when you compare it to a Catholic service, well, the spiritual service is uplifting. Yeah, it gives you power. The philosophy is very good, and it's much more worthful. But you can't find it here in Germany. That's true. And where you can find it, that is the online on the SNUI. This is the Spiritual National Union International, and you can be a member of it for £10 a year, and there you have the opportunity to have courses and services, and sometimes also in German, and it's worth when you look at this site, and if you try it out. So this is a site where you can connect to our spirituality. So, and the other point I wanted to make is, sure, I told you I'm a fan of the experimental mediumship because people can see something and experience something, but it's a very small grade, so you have to see that it is not seen as a show, and you have, what is very important, if you have to give the philosophical and spiritual background of it. That is very important, not just to invite the people and show what they happen, but you have to give them the philosophy and the backgrounds from it. So yeah, so that it's very worthwhile for it.
Yeah.
You know,
that is, to me, a very important point that you raise there. Because, as I say, you have this wonderful opportunity now in Europe to look at the UK and how spiritualism is where it is. And I'm not going to be doom and gloom, but it's like all things, you know, there's a good side, but there's also a little bit of a negative side. And to me, the endless just demonstrations of mediumship without any context, without any form of trying to spread the understanding of spiritualism, the philosophy of spiritualism, the history of spirit. You know, you talk to people about some of the names of the past, and they have no idea of any of these linkages within our movement. So, yeah, I think the more education that we give with our work with the other world, the greater the understanding, and the greater then. We were talking about this, funny enough, today in our workshop on creative writing, and saying about when you have trance mediums working, you know, when you really have somebody who's a really master of their craft, and the whole atmosphere of the room changes, everybody can feel that shift, everybody can feel that presence. And again, it's educating people about what you're feeling, what you're going through, what is happening, why is it happening. And I think this is where we are going to have the right conditions to not only encourage more people in spiritualism, but to bolster support all those already here. You know, because it is, to me, you know, I can't believe, I don't believe it. No, I can't believe at times. You can see a medium give the most exquisite evidence, the most wonderful in-depth communication, and people go, yeah, it's all right, they didn't get that bit right though, did they? Or they didn't do that right, or I didn't like the hair. And you just think, really So just go through the messages here. I assume that's for you, Dr. Robert.
yeah.
Right, that's okay then. Because I'm thinking, have I booked to do something and I have forgotten it? So that's good. It's not me. Woo! And lovely Matt Harris commenting there, saying about your group that you're drawn to there, Marcel. That you find that group and the spirit working for you. It's really true, though, isn't it? Because when the need arises, the teacher appears, and that is such a true saying.
That is so true, and I can give you an example of that. Yeah. So, because we always thought what we can do. So, and what you do, you're going on a journey pathway to mediumship or spirituality is a journey into yourself. And what you can do for this is to, on one hand, sit in your power, just look into yourself, and also and a different thing that helps me is meditation. And again, my wife found a lovely group, the Celtic Spirituality and Mediumship group from Ireland. And there's a lovely lady, Bridie. Thank you very much. Bless you. She does every week, every Tuesday, meditation and relaxation. So you will sit there, relax for an hour, and relaxing every part of your body from head to toe. And in the second part, you will go on a journey. Every time different, and it's such a great thing. And so we joined every Tuesday, and then after some times I logged in a little bit earlier and had a lovely chat with Bridie and some other guests there. And from then on, what should I say now? I'm helping her to do the posts for Facebook, and as well she brought up a new open circle every Thursday, so everyone is welcome there. And so we just popped up there with no intention, and then, as you said it, the teacher popped up. So Bridie guides us on a way, and that's fantastic.
Yeah, wonderful. A quick hello again here from Boston. Good evening, Michael. Nice of you to join us. And again, I find this fascinating because we're talking about the reach of this virtual spiritualism. And here we are with the evidence mounting up within the chat column tonight. So I just think that's great. I love it when that happens. Because it's like everything. We have this ability to go online. We have this ability to share our thoughts, our doctrines, our understandings, our questions. But as I say, that it's in some areas, it's just become a little bit like a novelty act. And that really upsets me when I see that. That's, it's just like dragging me. Oh, come on, we've got another medium. Look, everybody. Medium, isn't that good? Right, now, come on. Oh, look, I found another one. Woo. You have that aspect of it. But you do have these wonderful, this night, the Lyceum nights now have been going on since 2020. In fact, Dr. Bob was a guest a couple of times and put together some fascinating presentations on spiritual healing. And it's sharing this knowledge, it's talking amongst each other. It's sharing our experience, our journey and everything. And we're just putting this human face onto what spiritualism can bring into your life. I was wonderfully gifted last year to be invited to speak and teach in Holland. And the energy and everybody on the course, it was an amazing 3 days because there was this real enthusiasm. There was this real, thirst for knowledge. We were working from like 8 a.m. till 9 p.m. every day. It was like, oh, give me more. And by the end of 3 days, I'm thinking, I've got nothing left. Leave me alone. Go away. But it's absolutely fascinating. And a few of the fellow mediums that I know from this area and a little bit further afield, they've all said the same thing. When they've gone out to Europe teaching, it's a very different energy because it's so new, it's fresh. And you're not coming in with the, some of the old, you can't do that. Oh, no, you can't. You can't do mediumship on telly. That won't work. So how are you finding the virtual spiritualism, Dr. Roberts? Do you engage with it much, or are you tied up pretty much with your in-person stuff?
No, I am more work in person.
Yeah.
Yeah. And what I want to say is the question was, how do you find the people? And it's so I think when you do this work, you are radiating a special energy, and there are people that are drawn to you. I had made the experience, and maybe it sounds ridiculous, but it is so. When you're open to it, and when you're working with this energy, the people have a feeling for it, and they come themselves. They come to you, and they're asking about it, and yeah, that's very special. So just try to start it. And what I wanted to say about, you told about the people who want to attend one course after another. There I have an advice that you tell them that it's very important, that it is very important to sit for a self-development, to go meditate, to sit in the power, like we say, to feel the spiritual world and work at home or with other people to raise the energy. And that is the real development you make. The courses can only give you an instrument how to do it, but you have to develop yourself or with other people together. So that is very important.
Hugely. Part of the driving force this year in Poole is, as you can see through the little, this is this year's logo, and it's the that side with you. It's there. Is a lot more focus and emphasis on the development of the mediums, whether they be healing mediums, evidential, philosophical, because we have a lot of access to the mechanics of how to do this, how to make a link, how to deliver a message, how, and it's a bit like driving a car. Anybody can learn how to drive a car, except me. I'm terrible. I have no patience whatsoever. But anybody can learn how to drive a car, but you're only going to get one or two really good drivers. A lot of people just be average. And it's the same with the mechanics of mediumship, that some people can go along and they can pick up all these little ways, these introductions, how to do things. But the actual power of the spirit, the actual depth of what we are doing, whenever we work as a medium in whatever field, to me, we are linking in with the divine, the God force, the great spirit, whatever your terminology is. That is part and parcel. And working as a medium, and again, whatever area of mediumship you work in, this should be a development of you as a person. But we see quite a lot of people, it's just, there we go. There's my mediumship. I'm going to pick it up and work with that tonight. And I'm just going to put it down because it's just something I can do.
Yeah.
And we miss that deep soul connection, to develop ourselves. And both of you have got this interest in healing, which I find fascinating and refreshing. So thank you. How does that resonate with you? About, as you're working with your healing, do you find your own self-development through your healing? Marcel first.
Yeah, I would say so. I'm still on my development path. So it has a lot to do, as which you said, with your self-development. You're going on a development to find yourself. And on that way, you will get healing and you can give healing to others. And that is also, I just wanted to add something you said before. So you find it refreshing to come, for example, to the Netherlands and see and teach the students there. And from my part, or from my side, I could say we also enjoy to come to you, to the UK. And once we've visited you in Poole, in your church, it was so lovely to feel the energy of your church there, your presence, and the community. To get it live then only online was very, very great atmosphere there, and we enjoyed it really much. And it's I read a lot. So you're doing not only the divine services, is, as you said, you're doing development groups, you're doing workshop, and that brings the life into the spiritualism. It's not to go every Sunday there, just sit and listen. It's just to become part of it, to get the development, and to do it in a group, in a circle, or whatever.
Yeah, and the understanding, the comprehension of what we're doing. As I say, sometimes evidential mediumship is sold a bit short. You know, it's like, oh, that was a lovely message. I'll come back next week and see if I can get another one. And you're like, okay. So, Dr. Robert, how have you found your work as a healer in conjunction with your medical qualifications? Have you had your own self-development path through that?
Yes, of course. And I wanted to say that, Marcel, you are totally right. Especially as a healing medium, you know, I'm just say a healing medium, because a healer, I'm not a healer. I'm transferring the healing energy from the divine forces to my patient. So I have to be a clear channel. And to be a clear channel, I have to clear myself at first. And at the beginning of my work, when I meditated and when I made contact with the spiritual world and worked, there comes so much. Trauma and what you experienced, especially the childhood and so on. And this all you have first to overcome, and so that you are not, how can I say, that you are a clear channel, that you are free. You can only help people when you are clear with it, and you're a clear channel, and when you sort it all out. So that's very important.
If I just can add a short thing to it, comes into my mind. I would like to quote one of my teachers, or several of my teachers. They would say mediumship or spirituality is the easiest thing in the world, only the medium makes it complicated. So, and that's part of truth in it. So it's not about to stress you to get something done, and you want it really to have good and to deliver. So it wouldn't work that way. So you have to let go. And if the more you let go, then the better it will flow. So it's just...
That is something Stephen Upton told me in a course. Your job is to make the connection and then go out of the way. So
right.
Definitely. We run our own healing ministry here at Poole. We were with a couple of organizations over time, but we did find that it just got unnecessarily complicated. There seemed to be a lot of things telling us what we couldn't do, but there were very few things telling us what we could do. So we got the healers together, got a working committee out of the healers, who designed and drafted the code of conduct, then went through an insurance firm to ensure, that we are being covered as we should do. And that enables us very much a free hand in the healing, because I believe in getting people into healing, but always with that proviso that the more you work in the healing realm, the more stuff from you is going to be dragged up. The more things you're going to find in yourself. And the wonderful thing, the way the group operates, we meet every fortnight in an evening, and we will have a meditation, but we always have this time for discussion between ourselves. Is anybody having any issues at the moment? Is anybody struggling with anything? So it's a very self-supporting environment as well. The lovely Matt here, he was wonderful addition to our healing team here at Paul. And then he moved away. How rude.
Yeah.
How rude, Matt.
Like you told, don't disturb the process. So
Yeah.
It is so. Yeah.
It did strike me as funny because there's always been this sort of like battle cry in the movement, and I heard it when I first came in at like 14, 15, so that was a little while ago, about we've got to get younger people in our movement. And yeah, we have got the necessary resources to encourage youth into the movement. But also, again, everything is like this counterbalance. There's always the law of balance there, isn't there? And it's wonderful having other generations come in. But of course, other generations are more likely to be moving on somewhere or to have a change in their life, to get married, to settle down and do things. So there's more of a flux here. People want everybody of, later life, that stability, but they want them presented as a 21-year-old. And if he's saying you're not going to get that, we're going to have younger people. Lovely Marcel there, he's going to be doing things. So you may find, your spiritual journey will do that, and that's fine because we're here to live a life.
Yeah,
that is so important.
That's right. And don't forget to do this again. I mean, you can feel drawn to spiritualism, and it's good to do the seminars, it's good to sit in the power, good to meditate, whatever, but don't forget about your life. Enjoy, meet with people, and that's where you can also fill up your batteries. And so it's you have to do it balanced. That's what I wanted to say.
Yeah, the law of balance is very, very... I had somebody say to me a few months back, I'm only happy when I'm working on the platform. And I went, wow, let's have a coffee and talk about that, because, wow, can you not hear the warning bells? So we have a question. And to both of you, can you work as a healer if you yourself have significant maladies? So if you're suffering from ill health yourself, can you be still working as a healer? Either of you, any of you.
Well, I would say that's a really good question. So the first question you would have to ask yourself: do you feel comfortable to do healing, to give healing to others? Do you have enough, maybe let's say, power or whatever? Or will you concentrate first on self-healing before you give healing to others? But if you're doing, for example, trance healing, you're the medium and or only the channel, and your patient will get the healing, but you as the healer will also get healing as well at the same time. So you could, I would say.
Yeah. Dr. Robert, what's your thoughts?
it depends. It depends.
Mm.
During my sickness, I didn't work because I had enough to do with my self-healing, and so I hadn't the power to do this. No.
Yeah. I have seen healers do this, where they've been under the weather, but they don't want to let anybody down, and they come in, they're under power, they're not functioning 100%. And what I've noticed, when people do that, they can fall into what I call magnetic healing. So any healing is coming from them rather than through them.
Yeah.
And of course, if you're not feeling 100%, probably the worst thing you can do is go out and start giving away more of your own energy. So yeah, that would be my advice, Jan. To maybe embark with absent healing, sending out thoughts, But just be very wary. If you feel a little bit drained afterwards, or if you're not feeling right afterwards, then that's a sure sign to say, you know what, love yourself first. What do you do on an aeroplane? What do they teach you on an aeroplane? The minute the oxygen comes down, you take it and you put it on yourself. All right? That's not selfishness, it's preservation. Yeah.
Just one picture I got into my mind. I saw it last days on Facebook. So there's a picture of a mobile phone with a battery running under 5% or whatever. And you wouldn't let this happen to your mobile phone. Why do you let it happen to yourself? So
exactly.
First recharge yourself and then see further.
So we hope that helps there. Lovely, Jan.
Yeah,
but
that's very important to keep up your own battery. So to have breaks and time for yourself. Yeah, that's very important.
It's true. I had a guest over from Switzerland this week for a couple of nights. Lovely lady who was on the course here last year. And it was just so nice to just have company, and we went out for a couple of walks, went out and had a meal out. And I thought, yeah, I should be doing more of this, because I do tend to get a little bit stuck in the church. Something will come up and I'll deal with it, and something, and then something, and then something. But yeah, it was a really timely reminder of just make that time. It doesn't have to be anything big. It doesn't have to be anything grandiose. It was just, we were walking around town. We walked down the quay. We walked around the seafront, and it's just getting out of the energy. So yeah. So Jan, coming back here, I'm not a healer. Yeah. What do you both think about that first statement? I'm not a healer.
Well, I'm a healer. I'm not a healer. Both can be true. So choose your side.
Well, every mother is a healer. Yeah. So when your child has some injury or has fever, what is the first thing what you do as a mother? Yeah, you lay your hands on the child and you heal. So don't tell you're not a healer.
Yeah. And I always say, healing, to me, healing is expressing love. And that's something we can all do. I've seen, I know a lady who, if you met her, you would be a little bit, I'm not sure about you. But she is a magnificent healer, because she works within prisons and psychiatric units, secure units. And she has this tough exterior to help her survive, but she is such a good healer. She is a wonderful, and if you presented her and said, this lady is a healer, people would be going, no, she's not. Seriously, she's not. Keep her away from me. But she is. She's an amazing healer. And I always think, we can heal anywhere, anytime, any place, by thought, by word, by deed. If it's even just a smile, being pleasant to somebody, asking if you're all right. When you walk around town now, quite often there's an opportunity. You see somebody maybe struggling a bit with something, and say, can I help? That's being a healer to me. That is being a healer. That's practical. That's hands-on healing. So yeah, I just do. You know what? This is fascinating, because this is a healer's attitude, isn't it? I'm not a healer. I just do a healing. But goodness sake, have some pride. Have some, hold that presence. You do a healing prayer daily. How wonderful, And then I just wanted to know how practicing healers cope. So yeah, lesson number 1, Jan, get a grip. Seriously, love, get a grip. Be proud. I am a healer and I do a healing prayer daily. How wonderful. There we go. I hope you're laughing there, Jan. She's probably switching off, but never mind. Absolutely beautiful. There's so many questions, so many things to ask. Where do you see us going with our healing ministry? Is it always going to be combined with our philosophy and our evidential work? Or can you see a growth coming into healing, that more and more people will choose healing as their route spiritually, rather than say Reiki or Tai Chi or any other things, but spiritual healing we're talking about here? Do you see that as a growth? Do you see that as the potential for growth?
I definitely think so, yeah. But it don't matter for me which label you put on it. If you say that is Reiki or whatever it's named, so it is healing. It is giving love. It is for me it's the same. And some people feel more drawn to this direction or to this naming, and it feels better for them. Why not? It's fine for me. And as I also had in this February week, I was doing the trance workshop also with part of healing. And it was been 17 students with me in this course. So highly visited. And there was also another healing course. So I think many people are drawn nowadays to this healing subject.
Brilliant. Dr. Robert, what's your thoughts?
Yes, there is a great potential, and I think it's not important how you name it. So I think there's one source, one God source, and they are not different. It's the same when you say there are different heavens or something. I can't believe that. Yeah, there's one God force, and we all are working with it. So but the people have to know that the spiritual healing exists, and that is very important that we spread these ideas and tell the people how wonderful this is, and share this with them. So
very true.
I would love that the children were taught at school. It is so missing in our schools that the pupils not have spirituality as lessons, would help them so much to find their way through the life, and
and even we have here in this area a couple of big universities, and they have the Freshers Week in September when the new intake come in. And a few years ago, I applied on behalf of the church to have a stand there. And they said, we don't do any religion, no religion whatsoever. And I just thought, that is really sad. In fact, the more I think about it, because this idea has come back, that we do a multi-faith Freshers Week here at the church. Because, I think at any stage of life, as long as a religion or a philosophy is practiced intelligently and supportively, even if that is not their time to come into a movement or to grasp onto something, at least it's sowing that seed for later life. We have here little kiddies' tables and chairs, and I actively encourage people when they bring their children in, we sit them towards the back of the church here. I said, if they get a bit noisome, you can just pop out in the hall, that's fine. But I always think if a child goes into a church or a centre or wherever, and they have a good experience at some stage of their life, they may be somewhere dark, somewhere challenging. And if they've had a good experience in a church or a center or whatever religion, whatever philosophy, they're more inclined to go back to that than, you know, oh, I remember church, yeah, they wouldn't let us in.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's a really good point, Dr. Robert. We, you know, there is that. I mean, we do have the online presence, this virtual world now, so there is an ability there. To a friend of mine's very into the VR, the headsets and everything, and she was explaining to me that you can build these land. She said you could have a church now, a 3D church, where people will come in, and I just thought, I like that. I do like that.
Maybe something for next year.
Yes. Yeah. See if I can get that through the expenses. VR headset. I don't think I'll try that one. Anyway, gentlemen, thank you so much. It's been an absolute delight to talk to you. Dr. Robert, I'm so glad that you managed to stay with us. That was great. That was quite, you know, depressing earlier on when you kept disappearing. Marcel, absolutely lovely to talk to you. And nice for you to meet each other as well, I think.
Yeah.
Hopefully.
Thanks for having me, Laurie. It was a pleasure.
Absolute pleasure. And I know a lot of people who's watching tonight and will watch on catch up. I find it really funny. One of our local mediums, a lovely guy called David Powell, and he's another very big healer. And he was on holiday in Italy, and he said this man came over to me and said, I really like your service. And he was going, what? He said, I saw you working at Paul. He was, oh my God. So, yeah, absolutely. There's some strange lady in the room, Marcel.
Yeah. Hello to my wife.
This is strange lady. This is Jennifer. Jennifer is Marcel's wife, and just saying, hi everyone, I enjoy listening. Everything can be healing, whether it is healing, trance healing, evidential mediumship, art, philosophy. Everything is together and so incredibly valuable. Very true. Very true. Lovely, Jennifer. So, gentlemen.
Yeah. And I want to thank my wife, Tina. So she is walking the way with me, and I'm very glad for it, because they are couples. They have different interests, and the path is splitting, and it's not so good. So I'm very grateful to have my wife and that she walks the way with me. So thank you, Martina, when you see it. So
she's a lovely lady. We met up in London a couple of years ago, and yeah, she was a lovely lady. And I kept saying, "Oh, you're going to be a medium, aren't you?" Yeah, you really are. You've got it there. as has the lovely Jennifer. Why am I single? Gentlemen, thank you for your time. Thank you for your inputs. Thank you for your patience, Dr. Robert. That's well done. Absolutely brilliant.
Yeah,
thank you, everyone.
Problems at the beginning, but yeah, it's life. Life is life.
True.
So.
Thank you, everybody watching tonight. Don't forget, you can watch the service coming to you from Paul Church tomorrow at 11 a.m. GMT. There is a slight change. We were due to have Mickey Havelock, and she has come down, the latest casualty of this terrible cold flu, whatever it is, going around the UK. So you've got some bloke called Lawrence Saville, so I wouldn't bother tuning in. I'd go you. But in the meantime, thank you for being here tonight. Thoroughly enjoyed it. Thank you, gentlemen, for your time, pleasure, and presence. It's been wonderful. And we wish you all a very good evening. Good evening.
Thank you.
Good evening, everyone. Bye.